Oh. Hello again, everyone. How are you? I am a froggy version of Miss Rachel, and here is the beautiful, lovely Princess Tracy from the Kingdom of Wellsville. And
Hello, everybody.
hello. So today we're going to be doing froggy stories, especially the Frog Prince. We have some funny versions of the Frog Prince, so we'll move Froggy over, kind of like, get out of the way there, Frog. No. So before we get started, I wanted to say July 31st is the last day to turn in your booklet. So you still have time, but I don't want you to forget that that's the last day to turn them in to get tickets to win prizes. Also, I know if you've been watching the videos, please leave a message or let us know what your kids' names are that are watching. I know Harrison has been watching. He's been our faithful little buddy. His mom sends us pictures and videos every week. So, hi, Harrison.
Hi, Harrison.
And his favorite thing that we don't usually do before these, but he loves to do the open, shut them. Do you want to do it along? Tracy's not prepared for this, so this is all new.
I am unprepared, so.
Harrison and I will teach you. Harrison
Okay.
from afar. Okay, you're gonna need your hands, so put your stuff down. Okay, open, shut them. Open, shut them. Make your hands go clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Put them on your lap, lap, lap. Creep them, creep them, creep them, creep them right up to your chin, chin, chin. Open wide your little mouth and do not put them in. That's Harrison's favorite. So we did that for Harrison. So if you're watching, let us know. Let your kiddo let us know your kiddo's name. Maybe we can say hello next week. Will probably be our last video, I think.
Yeah,
So we'll have to give a shout out next week. So let's start with. Frankly, I never wanted to kiss anybody. It's a story of the Frog Prince as told by the frog. Princess Tracy. You have to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince. I bet you've heard that one before, and I'll bet you're thinking, ew, kissing a frog could be gross. Well, I just happen to be the former frog who inspired that saying, and my name is Prince Puckett. And let me tell you, that kiss was no picnic for me either. Let me tell you the real story. I was playing baseball the day Hank's mom turned me into a frog. One moment I'm about to catch Hank's pop-up fly, which give my team the championship, and the next moment I'm flopping around on the ground with more legs than I know what to do with. Sorry, kid, Hank's mom called as she was led out of the ballpark. To break the spell, get a princess to kiss you, but she can't know you're a prince. Well, she just ruined the game by doing that to him. Well, whether I was a prince or a frog, I wasn't about to kiss any girl. And soon I found that being a frog had its perks. I could see almost all the way around my head. Can you see his eyes there? He's looking both directions. I could swim and dive like nobody's business, and boy, could I jump. I jumped and jumped all the way to a new home near a well under an old linden tree. Oh, sorry. One day I was playing kick the mushroom with my frog buddies when I heard the unmistakable sound of a ball smacking into a glove. Well, that's the princess, Mickey told me. She's always come out here to practice. I listened to the smack, 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 and I wish that I could just be a regular baseball playing prince again. Then it happened. Smack, smack, plunk. The ball landed down in the well. And the princess cried out,
That was my lucky ball.
The gang gathered around me. If you offer to get the ball, she'll offer to pay you back somehow, Willie said, and then you can get that kiss. Go on, Harmon prodded. Think of your teammates back home. I worked up my courage and jumped beside her. Would you like me to get your ball? I asked. And she said,
You? Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to try.
I hopped into the well and I kicked out the ball. And the princess asked me,
How can I ever repay you? Just ask, and it's yours.
You can, I'd like, I stammered. And finally I blurted it out, a kiss! I want you to kiss me! The princess said, we stared at each other, and she leaned in toward me, and I leaned in toward her, but then she said,
Nope, can't do it.
She took her ball and she ran away. Well, that made me a little mad. A deal's a deal, right? It took me a while, but jump by jump, I followed her back to the castle. The princess wouldn't open the door, but I stood there croaking loudly until her father, the king, let me in himself. I told him about our agreement. My daughter must keep her word, the king assured me in a booming voice. Then he plopped me down on the dinner table right next to her. The princess looked the other way and said, Your turn, princess.
I'll kiss you after we eat. Promise.
But as soon as she swallowed her last bite of lemon tart, she dashed up the stairs. Well, I hopped right after her. And then she tried to say,
I'll kiss you right before I go to sleep.
but she pulled the covers over her head and quickly began to snore. I spotted her lucky ball in the corner. Well, I guess I'll just be going now. Since you won't kiss me, I'll just be taking this. And I took her ball. The princess flung off the covers and she hollered out.
No, wait, I'll do it.
She picked me up and held me close to her face. She closed her eyes and I closed my eyes. Give me kisses. Then her lips touched mine and we both yelled out, Oh! I felt myself being hurled into the air, and suddenly I was stumbling around with 2 legs and 2 arms that I didn't know what to do with, and the princess couldn't believe it either. You're a prince! What an arm! I said. Did we fall in love, get married, and live happily ever after? No. Ew. But my team got a great new starting pitcher. The end of that one. Thank you, Princess Tracy. I have here on the felt board, search forward, felt board. I have, count with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 green and speckled frogs. Do you know this song?
Yes.
Sort of. You want to sing it with me now?
I do not know.
Okay, fine. Fine.
The princess
You can
does
sing it with
not
me.
feel like singing.
Well, I'll bet Harrison will do it. Whatever, princess. 5 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool, woo, where it was nice and cool. Now we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 green speckled frogs on the log. So let's do it again. 4 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now we have how many? 1, 2, 3 green speckled frogs on the log. So now 3 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now we have how many? 1, 2 green speckled frogs on the log. 2 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now we have 1 green speckled frog on the log. 1 green and speckled frog sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. Then he jumped in the pool where it was nice and cool. Now we have no green speckled frogs, just a log. The end. Thank you for counting along with me. All right, Princess Tracy.
Okay.
You ready? This is like a big moment.
All right, I'm ready.
Ready.
All right.
The Frog Prince continued. Now this would be the story of the Frog Prince after she lost her ball and he got it, and then the king made her keep her word and she kissed him and he turned into a prince. This would be what happens after. The princess kissed the frog, he turned into a prince, and they lived happily ever after. Well, let's just say they lived sort of happy for a long time. Okay, so they weren't so happy. In fact, they were miserable, and the princess yelled at me.
Stop sticking your tongue out like that.
Nagged the princess. How come you never want to go down to the pond anymore? Whined the prince. The prince and princess were so unhappy they just didn't know what to do. She nagged some more.
I would prefer that you not hop around on the furniture, and it might be nice if you got out of the castle once in a while to slay a dragon or a giant or whatever.
The prince didn't feel like going out and slaying anything. He just felt like running away. But then he reread his book, and it said right there at the end of his story, they lived happily ever after, the end. So he stayed in the castle, and it drove the princess crazy. Then one day the princess threw a perfectly awful fit.
First you keep me awake all night with your horrible croaking snore. Now I find a lily pad in your pocket. I can't believe I actually kissed your slimy frog lips. Sometimes I think we would both be better off if you were still a frog.
And that's when the idea hit him. The prince thought, still a frog. Yes, that's it. And he ran off into the forest looking for a witch who can turn him back into a frog. The prince hadn't gone far when he ran into just the person he was looking for. Miss Witch, excuse me, Miss Witch, I wonder if you could help me.
Say, you're not looking for a princess to kiss, are you?
No, I've already been kissed. I'm the frog prince, and actually, I was hoping you could turn me back into a frog.
Are you sure you're not looking for a beautiful sleeping princess to kiss and wake up?
No, I'm the frog prince.
That's funny. You don't look like a frog. Well, no matter. You're a prince, and I'll cast a nasty spell on you. I can't have any princess waking up Sleeping Beauty before the 100 years are up.
Well, the prince didn't stick around to see which nasty spell the witch had in mind. He ran deeper into the forest until he came to a tiny cottage where he saw another lady who might be able to help him. Miss Witch, excuse me, Miss Witch. I wonder if you could help me. I'm a prince and, oh, she interrupted him.
Huh? What'd you say, Prince?
Well, no. I mean, yes. I mean, no. I'm not the prince looking for Sleeping Beauty, but yes, I am the frog prince, and I'm looking for a member of your profession who can turn me back into a frog so I can live happily ever after.
Frog Prince, you say? That's funny. I thought frogs were little green guys with webbed feet. Well, no matter. If you're a prince, and I can't have any princes rescuing Snow White. Here, eat a rest of this apple.
Oh. The prince knew his fairy tales, and he knew a poisoned apple when he saw one. Didn't even stay to say no thank you. He turned and ran deeper into the forest, and soon he came to a strange-looking house with another witch outside. Miss Witch, excuse me, Miss Witch, I was wondering if you could help me. I'm the frog. And she interrupted him.
If you're a frog, I'm the king of France.
No, I'm not a frog. I'm the frog prince. But I need a witch to turn me back into a frog so I can live happily ever after. And can you do it or not? Said the prince in one long breath. The witch eyed the prince and licked her rather plump lips.
Why, of course, dearie. Come right in. Maybe I can fit you in for lunch.
The prince stopped on the slightly gummy steps. Something about this house seemed very familiar. He broke off a corner of the windowsill and tasted it. Gingerbread. I hope you don't mind my asking, Miss Witch, but do you happen to know any children by the name of Hansel and Gretel?
Why, yes, Prince Darling, I do. I'm expecting them for dinner.
The prince, who, as we said before, knew his fairy tales, ran as fast as he could deeper into the forest, and now he was completely lost. He saw someone standing next to a tree. The prince walked up to her, hoping she wasn't a witch, for he'd had quite enough of his fill of witches. Madam, I'm the frog prince. Can you help me?
Gosh, do you need it? You are the worst looking frog I've ever seen.
I'm not a frog. I'm the frog prince, said the prince, getting a little annoyed. And I need someone to turn me back into a frog so I can live happily ever after.
Well, I'm on my way to see a girl in the village about going to a ball. But I suppose I could give it a try. I've never done frogs before, you know.
And with that, the fairy godmother waved her magic wand and turned the prince into a beautiful carriage. Turned into a carriage? The prince couldn't believe his rotten luck. The sun went down, the forest got spookier, and the prince became more and more frightened. Oh, what an idiot I've been! I could have been sitting home with the princess, living happily ever after, but instead I'm stuck here in the middle of a stupid forest, turned into a stupid carriage. Now I'll probably just rot and fall apart and live unhappily ever after. The prince thought these terrible, frightening kinds of thoughts, and a few worse, too awful to tell, until far away in the village the clock struck midnight. The carriage instantly turned back into his former prince. Yeah, the carriage instantly turned back into his former prince self and ran by the light of the moon until he was safe inside his own castle. Here comes the princess.
Where have you been? I've been worried sick. You're 7 hours late. Your dinner is cold. Your clothes are a mess.
But the prince looked at the princess who had believed in him when no one else in the world had, the princess who had actually kissed his slimy frog lips, the princess who loved him. The prince kissed the princess, and they both, where's your little person at? They both turned in,
Is this my person?
yes, to frogs, and they hopped off and lived happily ever after. The end. Yay! Kermit the Frog, yay! Thank you for joining us for our stories. We'll have new prize bags out. I want to show you, this is the craft. You're going to have a frog, and there's going to be those little freckles in it. They're small, so dig through your bag, but there should be 9 of each. And your googly eyes. And then I made little holes in the mouth, and you'll stick this horn in. So, like his tongue coming out. So there's your craft that you'll have. Keep reading. Make sure you get your either if you're doing it on the app or if you're keeping track in your books, make sure you keep track of everything. We've got this week and next week left, and then summer reading's over already. You're gonna miss all the wigs and costumes.
I'm gonna so miss all this stuff.
Well, I will. I love wearing this stuff. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, everybody.